Hi everybody. This is Wednesday's lesson for like the 15th time that I've tried to record it. I recorded it. I'll have you know I made no mistakes on the last time I made the video, except for not hitting record. So I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to talk through what I did, and hopefully that will be good enough, because most of you, a good chunk of people, were there and understood when we went over it. So I did the odds in class, and I'm going to go over the odds right now. So the height of the Space Needle, including the spire, is 184 and 41 meters. The height of the building without the spire is 158 and 12 meters. What is the height in meters of the spire? Record your answer. So I did a strip diagram. The whole thing, including the spire, is 184 and 41 meters tall. And without the spire, the building itself is 158 and 12 meters, and we want to know how big the spire is by itself. So it was just simple subtraction. 184 and 41 minus 158 and 12 I did the math. So 1 minus 2 I couldn't do. I went next door. The 4 became a 3. The 1 became 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. 3 minus 1 is 2. I put my decimal. 4 minus 8 I couldn't do, so I went next door. My 8 became a 7. My 4 became 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. So the spire itself, the pointy part at the top of the Seattle Space Needle, is 26 and 29 meters, and we record it with our decimal in the correct place and bubbled in zeros where we didn't have any numbers and bubbled in the corresponding numbers to go with it. So you're going to do 2 for homework, and then 3 is another addition and subtraction problem. So it's a twofer. We had to do 2 steps. Show the whole thing. So it says the total population of Lancashire County is 80,000 people. All the people live in either Beachport, Newcastle, or Grafton City. If the population of Beachport is 42,736 and the population of Newcastle is 23,985, what's the population of Grafton City? So I just made a strip diagram so I knew what I was looking at. So, and I'm so glad that I'm doing this video because I totally caught my mistake. There I was thinking I hadn't made any mistakes. So, first I added these two together to find out what our population was so far. In those 2 cities, we added these 2 together, and we said 6 plus 5 was 11, so there's a 1, carried my 1, 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 8 is 12, put down my 2, carried my 1, 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 9 is 17, put down my 7, carried my 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 more is 6, 4 plus 2 is also 6. So the population of Grafton City is not 6621. This one's the dork. So if I add these together, that's what I got, 66,721. I still need to know what that is. So to do that, I have to subtract from 80. So 80,000 minus what we just did, 66 and 7,000, excuse me, let me just write the number down. Then I'll read it. 66,721. So I'm going to do my subtraction. 0 minus 1 I can't do, so I have to borrow across these dreaded zeros. Go next door, he has nothing. Go next door, he has nothing. Go next door, he has nothing. Go to the end of the block, he has a lot. He's going to give us 1. And with that one, that leaves him with 7 and gives his next door neighbor 10. But we borrowed from him, so he gets down to 9. He goes to 10. But we borrowed from him, so he goes down to 9, and he goes to 10. But this dude's the one who needs the money, so 10 goes down to 9, and this 0 goes to 10. Now we're set up. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. 9 minus 6 is 3. 7 minus 6 is 1. So 13,279 is actually the size of that third little city. I'm kind of glad that my recording didn't work the first time because I caught my mistake. So then on number 5, it was fairly simple addition. It said Sarah's kitten weighed 1 25 pounds. After a month, the kitten had gained an additional 0.6 pounds. and what was the kitten's weight after a month. So here's what it started out as, plus what he gained. I added the 0, but I lined up my decimal, and 5 plus 0 was 5, 2 plus 6 was 8, 1 plus 1, and 1 plus nothing was 1, so I came up with 1 85 pounds. So that little kitten still weighs under 2 pounds. Then moving on to the second page we had to do, or that we did do in class. Oh, sorry, it takes a while to get back to normal. James wants to buy a football that costs $28.79. James knows that he will have to pay $2.30 in sales tax. To find out how much money he needs, James writes an addition problem. Which of the following does James use to find the total cost of the football? Well, on this one, we looked at the decimals and used process of elimination. There was only one of these that had the decimals lined up correctly. A had no decimal at all, so that couldn't be the way it was set up. C had the decimals totally messed up. They weren't lined up, so that one couldn't be it. This one had the decimals lined up going this way. That couldn't be it. So then we looked at the choice B, and that decimal is lined up, so it would line everything up correctly. $28.79, $2.30. It lines everything up correctly. So B was our best answer. Then number 3 reminded me of the population question, because it gave us one thing that is going to be the end goal, and then he did it in 3 different parts, and what were the parts going to be. So it said Mr. Ponce wants to buy a plant that's no, he doesn't. He wants to plant 4.2 acres of pecan trees in his field behind his house, as represented on the number line. So here's the number line. There's where he wants to be. And the first week he sold 1.8 acres. So I tried putting that on the number line, but my pencil's kind of fat, so it didn't work very well. And then from that point, he planted 2.1 acres. So I went from 0.8 to 0.8. There's 1, 0.8 to 2, and then I am going to end up right here is where I ended up. So the number line is kind of tiny. So I did a strip diagram to show what we're actually looking at. And he wants a total of 4.2. And the first week he plants 1.8, second one 2.1, and then how much for the third. So I added up what we already had, 1.8 and 2 plus 2.1. So 8 plus 1 is 9. Put my decimal. 1 plus 2 is 3. So it's 3 9/10 he's planted so far, but he wants a total of 4 2/10. So then I subtract 4 2/10 minus what he's already planted to find out what he still needs to plant, and we came up with 0.3 acres, which was A, was the best answer. Now, number 5 was the one that caused us some fits in class, because we did it correctly, all the math worked out, and we couldn't figure out why none of them were not true. It gave us a chart of how many buckets of popcorn were sold in the course of 4 days at a movie place. And so we just had to work our way through each one of these. So A says, and we had to find the one that was not true. So it says that the Movieplex sold 1,426 fewer buckets of popcorn Sunday than Saturday. Sunday is smaller, Saturday was bigger, so we set up the subtraction problem, and we did get 1,426. And so that one can't be right because it's true. And then B said the Movieplex sold 5,634 buckets of popcorn on Saturday and Sunday, so we added those numbers instead of subtracting, and we came up with 5,634. So 5,634 is what they had, so that's also true. And then I recorded it over here. I just bracketed Saturday and Sunday. Then C says the Movieplex sold 5,634 buckets of popcorn on Saturday and Sunday. Excuse me, I did that one. Movieplex sold total of 10,226 buckets during the 4 days. So I've already added these two together. So I added Thursday and Friday together, and I got that. So I said 1,692 plus 2,900. That's 2, that's 9, that's 15. Put down my 5, carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. And then I added Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday was 5,634. 2 plus 4 was 6. 9 plus 3 is 12. Put down my 2, carry my 1. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 6 is 12. Carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5 plus 5 is 10. So 10,226, that's also true. Then what we did in class was we looked at this problem, but we didn't read it very carefully. It says the Movieplex sold 1,042 more buckets on Thursday and Friday than on Saturday and Sunday. And so we just set it up as a subtraction problem. We had these added together, we had these added together, we just did a subtraction problem with the big number on top. And we came up with 1,042, and we're like, man, they're all true. What did we do wrong? Well, then Sagalia and her mom pointed out that we were just reading it wrong. It says that they sold more on Thursday and Friday. They did not sell more on Thursday and Friday. They sold more on Saturday and Sunday. So 5,634 is more. So that's why D was not true. They just wrote it backwards. Hope this helps. Bye.